I agree.
Can everyone clear the track, please? We're just going to do a walkthrough. And you can get lapping again after that. Thanks very much. Better start my engine. Right, everyone, welcome to Spa. Needs no real introduction. Coming up to La Source, T1. It's a pain in the butt for just about everyone, including me. Braking point tends to be really difficult here. You tend to focus on all the track marks, which can be a real problem in the race if you're following someone close. So it's best to try and pick up something that's on the left. And obviously there's that little red bit of gate, if you can see, on the left. I kind of use that as a visual marker now. That kind of falls in the right place for the way I've got my field of view. Obviously it might be different for you, but it's a good reference point nonetheless. But obviously it means you're not looking at the apex. So you've got to try and get it in your peripheral vision. If you've got no cars in front of you, of course, you can use this bit of this light-coloured bit of the tarmac here. Francesco, can you leave the track, please? We're just doing a walkthrough. Oh well, we'll just have to see what happens there. Anyway, I'm hard on the brakes just before the end of this light bit, and I'm looking towards the apex. And I'll turn in and where this red line is. Yeah, and I'll be dropping down to second, and I'll keep it in second to avoid, obviously, a lot of wheel spin. But you're wanting to catch, sort of like that little bit of curb there as the camber starts to go away again. But very gentle on the throttle. Always keep it gentle on the throttle. Don't rush that turn. There's not a lot of time to be gained trying to rush that turn. The time is gained on exit of the turn, because obviously you want to get a nice smooth power out for this brilliant run down to Eau Rouge. First part of this turn is Eau Rouge, the second part is Radion. So keep it as far right as possible. And I'm looking for, obviously, for the bit of the inside curb and how that lines up with the white line immediately after it. And that's basically my line through the first bit. I'll try and obviously take it nice and slow now. You don't want to get too much of this curve because you get a 1X. And so you drive through that white line there, and as soon as you do, you basically turning nice and gentle, trying to balance the car. I'm on 17 wings, so the car wants to lift, and you take as much of this as possible and watch out for the 1X. The car will bounce out to the right, but touch that little bit of curb there, and you know you're doing right. So coming up to this Les Coombs, or however you pronounce it. And where's your braking point for this? Obviously, keep in mind the 100 metre board there on your left. But the curb also works well as a brake marker. I brake just a little bit after the curb begins. Obviously, very, very hard on the brakes. And I want to be completely off the brakes before I turn in, really. And you want to get this first bit tight, and don't rush this first bit. Don't rush it at all. Keep it nice and easy, because you want to get a really good line through here, but gentle on the throttle, gentle on the throttle. Touch it, as soon as you touch this curb, you're into third, and you're turning towards the apex here. You catch a little bit of that curb, but not too much, because it will unsettle the car. Watch out for the 1X on exit. And one of the trickiest turns on the course, really, because it requires a lot of patience, but I'm hard on the brakes as soon as I see this curb here, and I'm dropping down to second, and you want to take it tight all the way around. Keep it tight, keep it tight. Don't let it swing out. There's no time to be gained, because obviously you want to get on the power nice and early. Let it drift out and take as much of this curb as you can. As soon as you're on this curb, you're basically turning in for this corner, which I believe has got no name. Take a little bit of curb and come out to the curb in there. Catch a little bit of dust on exit, means you've done it really nice. But not too much, because you'll get a 1X. And now, of course, the infamous Pouon. Now, I like to run over the curb here, but you've got to be confident of your car stability if you're going to do it. Obviously, I'm making the turn as wide as possible. I'll be in 6th gear at this point, but I'll be dropping to 5th for the turn itself. Now, the entry here, I think, is probably the most difficult part, of course, because you're going to try and get the car settled, but it's kind of two parts to it. So you aim first for the apex, and then you give it a little bit of extra steer for kind of a second mini apex, and that allows the car to come out wide here, and you'll be coming on the curb, obviously constantly full throttle, off a little bit obviously if it feels unstable, and you catch this inner apex here. Let it run out to the curb in here, but come across to the left as soon as possible, and you're looking for that shadow that crosses the track basically. I brake just before that, and I drop down to third to try and get a nice tight smooth line through the first part. Run with a little bit of curb. If you're not careful, it'll oversteer the car, but you can use it if you're careful. Nice and wide for the second apex on this one, and straight across to the curb in here. Now again, just like the entry to Pouon, this curbing will unsettle the car, but it's incredibly useful, so you should try and get used to it, slowly but surely. Now you're turning really hard, and the apex is actually really late, and it's like a second turn in for it. Gently on the gas as you come through it. There's a 1X on the exit there, so be very careful. Now this one is a bit of an enigma. Sometimes I can take it flat and sometimes I can't, and I think it's down to tyre temperature more than anything else. A little confidence lift on the way into it will always settle the car quite nicely. The thing is, you can actually run really wide without a penalty, like as far as that for example, and come back in again. You've just got to get back into the track before you hit the green there. I just picked up a 1X there because I touched the green a little bit, and obviously now it's flat out all the way through to the chicane. Keep it tight here, and you come out to this shadow here. Now where that shadow ends, that's basically your turning, because don't forget you're absolutely flat out. If you turn in at that point nice and smooth, hit that apex and allow the car to wash out here. Watch out for the green stuff because it'll give you a 1X. Cut that little apex there. Now that shadow there right in front of my car right now, that's pretty much my my latest braking point. If I'm after that, I know I'm going to go too deep for the chicane. I'm going to be overdriving it basically. So obviously you want to come back a little bit when you're going into this. Use the shadows as a reference point, but obviously when you're in a battle with someone really close to someone, you can't really see them. So don't forget there's the 50 metre board there on the left, and there's also that little hut. But of course that's taking your eye off the apex, but doesn't really matter because you just want to get your braking done. Now I try and catch a little bit of this curb here because give me a nice wide exit, but you've got to be careful that you don't touch that grass because you'll lock your brakes. This is my ideal line through here, but I don't get it every time. But I'm really slow as you can really. And you want to keep it as far right as possible. Catch that apex there, off the gas, very gently catch that apex there, aim it towards the curb, gently on the gas as you build up. Right, I'll try and do a sort of like medium speed lap now. Looking for the red bit there, it's just past. Turning late, smooth, very smoothly on the gas as you exit. Now I'm thinking about the curb at the bottom of the hill. I want to straight line it with the white line that follows. And as soon as I hit that white line, I'm hard right, balancing the car because it's going light. Get that, let it run over here. I'm hoping for about 152 mile an hour as I come out of there. Then I'm thinking, shall I try and do this one as late as possible? Never a good idea because you want to get that first bit nice and smooth. Get it down into second me, but some people like to take it in third. And get it nice and tight, catch a little bit of curb, so you get a nice swing round for you. Always about 50% throttle. You're hard on the throttle again here, lift a little bit, catch a little bit of that curb. Hard on the brakes, down to second, get it nice and tight. Trail brake into it if you need to. Keep it tight and then power out of it, swing round to the right here, catch as much of that as you can. So you get a nice line through. Now Pouon, again, like I say, I'll keep it in fifth, I'll touch the brakes, turn in there, and then a second turn in to give it a little bit loose at the back, and keep it loose through there. So that little bit of looseness is what gives me the speed. Looking for the shadow, drop down to third, try and get this one nice and tight, so you can get this late apex here and get on the power early. Not that important, but it's useful. Get as much of this curve as you can, really late turning. Keep off the gas until you know you can make that curve. And on this one, well, little confidence lift is what will get you around every time. For maximum attack, obviously you want to be full throttle through. With a 17 wing, it's actually quite tricky. 26 wing, I think it's no problem at all. Looking for that shadow, turn it in, keep it on the apex, let it run out. Again, I don't want to overdrive the chicane, so I'm actually going to brake early. Down into first. Some people like to do it in second. I like to boot it out in first, but gently. And there we go. I'm trying a little bit of a faster lap now. Looking for the red marker on the fence. Into second. Let the car carry itself around. Don't force it. You will spin on exit. Want it straight line the first part. Settles the car nicely for the second part. There you go. I mean, that's flat in with a 17 wing. It is doable. So I don't want to overdrive this one. Try and catch a little bit of curb, make it a little bit wider. Keep a nice tight turning, bit of curb, maybe a bit of curb there. Little bit of a lift there to get it turned in. Gently on the exit. Hard down to second. Just keep a tight line all the way through. And gently power out the exit because you want to come to the right. Touch of the brake usually helps there. Early turning, yeah. Second turn. That went a bit wide. Tyres are cold. Always an excuse. Drop to third. Keep it tight. Late apex. Same for the second part. Get that late apex and power through it. Try and get a bit of curb. Very, very late apex there. It's easy to oversteer. Little lift. Keep it in. No penalty there. Try and straight line this bit. You see that apex there? Aim it straight at the next apex. And then let the car wash out to that shadow. There it is. And gently turn it in. Early on the brakes. Catch too much curb there. Unsettle the car. Gently out. I don't get wheel damage, to be quite honest, Scott. Cat. I don't know if anyone else is getting wheel damage there, but it works out for me. Yeah, okay, that's the walkthrough. I hope I covered it there. It's quite tricky to cover Spa because I know it off by heart, and everything's a bit subconscious, if you know what I mean. So I'm sort of like having to double think it. Alright, thanks guys. Track is open.
Top man. Cheers.
Cheers guys. Good turnout, really nice, thanks.